What's up, everyone? So we're just gonna be doing a live stream here tonight. Um, no real main topics besides telling you guys my feedback on this. This is the I don't even know how to pronounce this, to be honest. It's the whatever the hell that says right there is what's rolled up in here. It's a cross of the sour D and I forget sour D and something. It is definitely a strain that I could imagine would probably be able to show its powers if it was turned into hash. I think hash would probably be the best form of this one, but as you can see, it's smoking, it's not doing bad. Definitely one of those more potent strains, but let's get into talking about the giveaways that is going to be coming up very soon. These giveaways are actually going to be really cool because you have the opportunity of winning some interesting stuff. There's going to be some stuff that is going to be coming from Massholes. Massholes is a very high end hash hole brand that you guys probably are familiar with if you have been following my page. Definitely excited to show you guys those, and you have the opportunity of winning some of those in the giveaway. So I will link the giveaway in the description of this one just so people can get a better understanding of what's actually going to be able to be won and also what is when it's going to be and all that fun stuff. But I definitely wanted to start doing these more often. As you guys can see, we're almost at 2K subscribers, so that just means another giveaway for that one. Once we hit 2K, we're going to be doing another giveaway, and it's going to be really cool. Nothing too big just yet, but it's going to be really nice for the people. It's going to be something that grows and grows and grows. So eventually, once we hit like 100,000 subscribers, once we hit a million, once we hit all these different milestones, I'm going to be giving back to the people to show my appreciation for the support. So let's speak about this a little bit. The strain is definitely one that shows its power in the effects. I will say that for sure. It's definitely going to be able to show its powers in the effects. It's not going to be a weak strain, but it's definitely going to have this potent resinous taste that is going to be kind of overwhelming to an extent. I do think that the taste is something that not a lot of people are going to be amazed by. It's definitely not going to be one of those strains that impresses all the candy people. It's not going to be that by any stretch of your imagination. It's just not going to be great tasting, but the effects will definitely help. As I did mention, it is a cross of the sour D and I forget what it is. It's sour D and something else. I don't know how I'm forgetting, but it's definitely not one of those strains that is going to be burning super white. I shouldn't have ashed it right there, but if you've seen before, the ash was kind of gray. Not a bad thing, I guess. As you can see, look at my eyes. The effects are real. The effects are real. And most people will see that resin ring and be like, oh, look at that, look at that. But resin rings, they don't mean that much to me, at least. Definitely is a beautiful sight though, especially for that proper Z. If you guys seen that proper Z review I just did recently, great. It smokes great. I will have to say it did also kind of lack on the taste a bit. It definitely wasn't something that was shining for the taste. It wasn't something that was tasting so good that you just couldn't endlessly stop smoking it. But the effects on it were really nice, so it was a tough one. I hope the audio is good on this. I'm trying out a new way of doing the audio. So I have it attached to the table at the moment. I know it's going to be less of that drag, that extra like hissing sound, but might be a little bit dulled on the level in which you can actually hear me. So I'd love to hear feedback on the sound. Would love to start upping the quality of everything. Now that we're really aiming for the best, highest end quality cannabis, kind of have to step it up on the quality of the videos and just everything. So, what you will be seeing in the near future is a lot of documentary stuff. There's going to be a lot of documentary stuff, maybe sprinkle in some interviews, definitely sprinkle in some reviews and live streams as well. But we're going to be aiming for more of that quality over quantity type feel. So, it's going to be documentaries, news, and stuff that is going to really going to help me paint the picture of what is to come and also help the people educate themselves on this journey because knowledge is power. And that's why me being honest about something like this is key. I really do think that this is got a little bit of ash on my computer. Shit. Um, where was I going with that? I was saying that the taste is definitely lacking. Something like this is not cheap by any stretch of your imagination. Just use that there twice. Super misplaced. I said by the stretch of your imagination twice now, and it's just been so bad placed. But let's move on. This is definitely a strain that is not going to really impress people by the taste. It almost has more of that punch taste where it's a little harsh and resinous, but it's pleasant in a way. It's like kind of like a wine taste, but it's not necessarily something that's going to be grabbing people off the taste. It's definitely something that is more going to show its shine in the effects, which is what it is. I'm not necessarily someone who's too hyped up on tastes and all that nonsense. I think that's like kind of for the birds. But I don't want it to taste like just smoke. I don't want it to just taste like harshness and all that nonsense. I definitely want something that's going to taste good and smooth. But I'm more of a gas fan than I am a candy fan. I would say that's definitely what I see the market going towards, in my opinion. I think people really want something that's actually going to have effects right now. So the market is changing for the better. I think that this is really cool to see in the bigger picture. I think that the market is going to have a tough, tough time in this transition period. It's going to be insane to see, to be honest. There's going to be a lot of deaths and a lot of brands that completely fall off. And what I mean by deaths is like deaths of brands, not like people dying. Maybe not, hopefully not, but brands are going to have to die for the market to learn and for the market to evolve. So, what I mean by that is it's like some of those brands are going to have to evolve and cancel out what they're doing completely right now just to take on a new wave. maybe even start a new brand for that new wave just because they burned themselves out in that candy era. But I've spoken on that shit way too much. I think that the candy wave it is what it is. It's happened with OGs, it's happened with Bubba Kush, it's happened with all these different things before. So just a cycle of the market, a diabetes meter. But what I'm saying basically is something I'm actually going to be covering in a new video very soon. I actually will be doing a video where I talk about just the evolution of the market, talking about how it's went from people not even really knowing about what the hell they were even getting at one period of time when it was super illegal everywhere. No one had a clue. No one had a clue what genetics of this or whatever. People didn't give a fuck. Or they didn't know enough to be able to give a fuck. Which is in the time we are now. We're in the time where people are just becoming aware enough to be able to give a fuck and to be able to see there is stuff to even give a fuck about. Because obviously people have had knowledge to an extent, but it's been extremely limited and very rare to come across people who have that knowledge or even want to gain any of it. There's a large amount of people who just want to smoke what's trendy. So to get around that bush is to make what's really that connoisseur level stuff, but to make it trendy. And there's ways to do that. Ways to do it. Obviously, we've seen how the candy wave was able to make that trendy. So it's not impossible. It's clearly not impossible. I think that this is something that is almost it's almost certain to happen soon. I see it, and it's a lot of powerful people that are trying to push it. So this isn't gonna be something that doesn't happen or happens in 10 years from now. It's gonna happen very soon. We've already seen the change, and to see the demand for candy be or the demand for OGs being so high at the moment is interesting. So if you haven't checked out my most recent video that's doing decent, it's talking about what's going to be next, and it sounds so weird for me to say, but I think that Gorilla Glues or gelatis, stuff that has that punch, something that's able to actually deliver that punch, but also have a taste that is going to be pleasant enough for that newbie candy smoker. I think that's clearly going to be something that makes a statement, if not makes a whole wave itself. So there's so much out here that people are kind of turning a blind eye to that they haven't given the chance yet. So once people start giving those things the chance, and once people start really branching out and seeing what's out there, then we'll be able to actually have a really interesting time in the market. We'll see real evolution, but we're in an interesting period right now. Respect to Runs, respect to all of them, because I am going to be doing a very interesting documentary about Young LB, and it's going to be interesting. I think that this is going to be something people really learn from, and not only that, they see that we're all humans. We're all humans. So to give anyone too much credit or to give anyone too much power in the market is foolish, and we've done that. But through documentaries like the one I'm going to be dropping very soon, and through just the educational content that is out there right now, whether it's from LMC Media whether it's from any of these meme pages on Instagram that are actually throwing out little bits of knowledge as well, whether it's through any of these sources, you actually have the access to knowledge now that is insanely valuable. So use that wisely, go about it properly, and just allow yourself to learn, because right now there's so many different podcasts and different things that are teaching. Clearly, I'm still young. I'm not in the position to teach everyone, and I don't even have the knowledge to teach everyone. It's just not possible. So branching out there and finding those other things is totally necessary. I think that this is just such a cool time to be in the cannabis field. I don't call it a cannabis community. I would say it's more of a cannabis field that is still trying to find its way. A lot of these big brands aren't even they're not even close to their fullest levels yet. So it's an honor. It's an honor to see the growth of these people and even have the opportunity to document some of it. So much respect to anyone who has watched this. Clearly, it's a growing process. I need to schedule stuff more proper, build a team, and figure out some way to develop a better way of going about doing this, because I do think stuff like this is powerful. Whether or not this is getting 10,000 views right now doesn't matter. I don't even think that's a proper number, but you understand what I'm saying. I think that there is growth in everything. So continue to strive and try to grow yourself and grow the knowledge of the people around you, whether it's teaching someone about strains today or whether it's teaching them about fig terps, whatever it is. Teach your friends about shit. Try to branch this knowledge out and try hard to at least share it to one person, because at the end of the day, knowledge is power. So if you're able to share something with someone that's actually going to help them, then you're blessing them. So much respect and much love to everyone.